Welcome to Profit Channels. This is my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice. Please consider this video entertainment. Today I am talking about gold or GLD, and then I'm going to touch on GDX and GDXJ, but mostly gold. So here is our monthly channel, and you can see that historically our volumes on the volume profile are pretty low until we get back down to here. So point of control, major point of control, major historical point of control. I don't think we'll ever get back here. We shall see. But you can see that right now we're battling with this midpoint line on the monthly. If I go to the weekly, I've got this channel here that we've been working in, and it also has a good midpoint line. And we're at the top of this channel and battling with the midpoint of the longer term. If I were to hide these two, let me go back to the monthly. Let's get a moving average ribbon. You can see that we have been above the 50, bouncing off the 50 and headed up on the monthly. On the weekly, again, you've come off the 100 or the 200, touched it again here, and have run up. So it's been about 2 years since we've seen the 200, and you can see if we go back, it wasn't that long here before we revisit it. This is October 22 to January 19, so that was a good stretch of time. But we have not seen that in a while. If I put in a couple lines here on the weekly, or maybe even the daily, you can see we are forming this triangle shape that can either break down or break up. I feel like we're going to break down. So if I'm looking at the daily, we've had this positive run, bouncing off the 50, came down, broke down to the 100. The 50 bounced off the 100. We continued up using 50 as support. Now we've broken down and are bouncing between the 50 and the 1. So is the 50 going to bounce off the 100 again and we'll make another run up like right here? Or are we going to break down and try to find the 200? If I hide those and I go to a weekly, well, maybe this will look better on the daily. We kind of have a line here where we've been, it's been resistance, then we broke through, and then it was support, and now we're back on the resistance side again. So are we going to break down or break up? Here on the daily, you can see, I'm going to get rid of this moving averages. We've been moving in this trend until we got to this triangle shape, which could go either way. It's been a solid run. Back to the weekly. Let me get my moving averages in here. So you can see at this point, that is our distance from the 200. And if I move this That's bigger than the distance here at this peak. I line go. Here we go. Okay. And is very similar to this peak here, where we started a large correction down to this point of control. So again, it's we are very, very stretched from our moving averages. I just jumped to the daily, but I'm doing a fib retracement from this shorter term point of control to the top, and you can see our lines. 0.5 is nice, 236 is all right, 382 is good. Yeah, 0.5 is good, 618, 786. So these are real nice retracements. If I hide that and go to the weekly, and I do a retracement from this point of control to the top, you can see the 382 works out real nice. The 0.5 next to this point of control, the 618 has got these touches. So that's nice. And when I run them both together, you can see the 786 is the 618 down here. The 236 is the 0.5. The 786 is the 382. So these all match up real nice. And so we could see easily, some retracement to the 0.5 or the 236, however you want to look at it, or the 618. We're due for some kind of retracement. If I do an extension, so I'm going long term, from this bottom to this top to this bottom. Let's go to the monthly for this one. So you can see our lines here. This 382 is just a thing of beauty. The 236 is real nice. If I go into the weekly, the 618 looks good. 786 is all right. The 1 looks real strong, and we're right here at the 1272. If I were to a fib extension from down here to up here to down here, you can see we're right at the 3618. That's been a hell of a climb. The 268 works real good. The 2168, almost the 1272. The 618, so real pretty. And if I overlap them, we have confluence here, and here, and here, and here. So I like both of these. So, we could, for long term, we could break up for a shorter term. Maybe we jump up here to the 4, which is probably more realistic, but I think we're breaking down. So let me switch over here and let's look at GDX, and let's look at it on the monthly. And you can see that this really could be a giant cup, and we're ready to make a handle. See, gold's pulling back. You can see we're right here at the top, these previous tops, so this would be a good place to reverse. We're towards the top of this channel. But if I look on the weekly, we have this weird triangle. This triangle is, this is a bearish looking triangle to me. And then if I go to the GDX on the monthly, we could have a giant cup and handle here, or this smaller, real bullish cup and handle, because this side's higher if we pull back. You can see where we're at right now is right here. This was support, so I would expect this to be resistance now. If I go back to gold on a monthly, we're well above our Bollinger Band. The money flow index is as high as it was back here. Stochastics is maxed out, and our ADX is almost 60, which means we are well overdue for a reversal. So anything over 40 is that's ready for a reversal. So that's as high as I've seen in a while in the ADX. If I go to the weekly, we're still outside of the Bollinger Band, but heading back towards it as we go sideways. Money flow index is heading down. Stochastics is heading down, and our ADX is coming down from mid 50s down to 40. So we're looking like we're ready for a reversal. On the daily, you've got no pattern here on the ADX. Stochastics are, they're positive in the short term. And money flow index is positive in the short term. So a little positive in the short term. I mean, this thing could go either way. If I look at our monthly SAR and super trend, everything is looking bullish here. We got a nice run. Our RSI is as high as it's ever been. It's like a triple top here. The moving average on the RSI has never been higher. If I look at squeeze momentum, I've never seen this. I mean, this is as high as it's ever been. And same thing with our MACD, and our histograms are starting to get weaker. On the weekly, we got some buys still. We're starting to have a downward trend on our RSI out of overbought. Our squeeze momentum is headed to neutral, and you can see the MACD's crossed over and heading down, but still in positive territory. On the daily, we've got mixed signals. I definitely have a downward trend in our RSI, but it's crossed over and moving up, so it could go either way. I'm thinking we're due for a pullback, though. This is definitely downward squeeze momentum, so it's less and less and less bullish. And finally, you can see our MACD is all the way down to neutral right now. So I think this is a point in time where people should be cautious. We are really far from our moving averages, any way you want to slice it. But it could bang up, and then the run could be over. All right, I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Talk to you later.